Are we back? Are we so back? Hashtag we're so back. Are we? Stream manager. We are so bark. We are bark. It says I have 0 viewers. Is that accurate? I don't know. Ooh. Sorry, I don't know why OBS freezes while I'm streaming sometimes. It's weird because I can still see the chat running, and I can see when you guys say, "Oh, the stream's dead." And like all my audio stuff is still doing its thing. It's just that the screen freezes. So I don't know. I don't know. Update videos at coords, masks, blah blah blah. Okay, so if we do random in range, R, G, and B, or whatever it is, and then we just do make array, another vector 4. Decided around the time you added that new stuff that had the options for on-screen keep resumes. No, it's been around way longer than that. Also, I forgot I had that. That shortcut. You like that? What a banger. So then let's just update the Z value, even though we're sending in a bunch of other values. And so in theory, so this should be good. This guy here, just initialize it. It's got the cache, it's got the debug, it's doing the thing. That's good. We need to set the... This is going to get angry. This might even crash, actually. Why did you get set to be orange? Also, did that get... Oh, its size is still... 256, 256. Virgins on. Hell yeah. Assemble. Assemble. Is viewport anti-aliasing a bit buggy? Do you mean in my stream, or do you just mean in general? Because I think in Unreal Engine in general, it is quite... It's quite something. It is a thing. In our debug noise RT, we need to actually add to our... Well, we need a new local. Masks. We need to add here. Just 1100. Oh, you know what? 1111. Let's do it all the way. All right, is this working? So we've reset it. We're now getting our random blue values, but I feel like it is overriding our RG values. Yeah. It's overwriting them. So this should be only doing the blue channel and leaving the X and Y. Write data to render target. Just make sure that these are, yeah. Write data to render target. We have the masks this frame. So we're getting them. They should all be thingo. This should be in a lerp. And so if it is 1, use the new value from values this frame. If it is 0, then get the render target value from the previous thing. Now, what I'm assuming is that this load render target value doesn't work? Question mark. Let's presume that when we write data to the cache render target, towards this frame, break it, round it, we are looping per length of this array. We're getting the data render target, and then drawing its values to the cache render target, but only in those places. If I just said, make the cache render target always 1, then I wonder if the cache is always 1. The fuck? Why are you size 1? I mean, that would explain why it's fucked up. Grid today. Oh, did I not initialize the... Ah. Well, that's one part of it. And I didn't hit initialize. So now you should be the correct size. 120. Yeah. We do this. This should be white. And now we're just drawing. So I believe this is random blue value, but white R and G, which means that it is masking correctly. I think what was going wrong was that the because it was out of bounds, it was at 0. So we refresh this, and now we should see our blue value being drawn randomly, but except for this one spot here, yeah, okay, so it's ignoring the R and the G channels now. But we can still draw to the B channel, which is amazing. Yo, Mags! Hello, welcome Raiders. How's it going? We are currently working on a very silly idea. Very quite silly. So some of you might know that I have a plugin that I gone and done. Landscape generation, sort of, almost sort of. Does that scale? Oh no, that's just max. Also, the other day I was working on some ocean stuff, this is a less silly idea. You know, most games have oceans and water and whatnot. And we were just doodling with determining where particles would need to spawn. So we kind of like recreate the wave shader, but in a render target around the player, and then we use those values to drive some Niagara stuff. These are really big waves. The radius would be way bigger. But, sea foam, and also when waves crash into cliffs and stuff, we'd want them to, like, explode with foam everywhere. But the other thing that I do, which that ocean is a part of, is the Prismatiscape interaction stuff, where we do, like, you know, foliage, interaction, grass trampling, wind, local wind simulation, which is all done in render targets through Niagara Grid. But this brings us to my new stupid idea, which is, what if we were doing a wind simulation and a kind of everything simulation, but on the scale of the whole world? So, if we go back to the plugin that we're making, or the module, which is, I'm making it for my game, but I'll be giving it to everyone as well. So the idea is that we essentially create like a climate model, which, you know, we we have the elevation, we have, you know, water bodies. We can do, like, you know, simulate evaporation, clouds moving everywhere, snow falling, snow accumulating, seasons, you know, seasons and whatnot, and then draw that data to a big-ass render target, or, like, low resolution, but, you know, it covers the entire world. So that way we have, you know, snow where it should be snowy, wind where it should be windy, we have water and puddles and stuff where it should be watery. You know, if it rains, and then it rains enough to form puddles, and then, but then it, you know, then the sun comes out and it's super hot, those puddles should dry up faster than if it was, you know, already, if it was wet and, you know, humid and cold and there were clouds and whatnot. So this will handle all that kind of stuff, and the hope is that it means you kind of don't have to worry about, at least if you're like me, where you worry about things making sense in the world, like, you know, the backside of a mountain range being more lush than the front side. Yeah, mist, clouds, rain, snow, fog. You know, fog occurs when, I don't know, I'll look that up at some point, but yeah. And so that will all be kind of The simulation itself will update very sparsely. So it'll just tick over, you know, one tile per, you know, frame or something. And then around the player, we will lerp from the previous to the current value to, like, smooth it out and whatnot. But yeah, it just means, like, you know, as we go further and further up the mountain, it will probably get windier and windier. And colder. And, you know, drier. And so that can factor into gameplay. Because all of the simulation will be stored on the CPU, but then it just gets reflected in a render target that we can read from. And, you know, have a really reactive environment. And that way it's just like, you don't have to dick around with global variables where you might be like, oh, like, as my character moves from here over to here, I need to, like, lerp the snow coverage variable up really slowly. It'll just be like, you know, if we're standing here and we look at the mountain, then we'll see that the top of the mountain is covered in snow. But it isn't just based on, like, purely the elevation. Like, if there was, like, a mountain and another mountain over here, and there was this, like, valley that just, like, never saw sunlight, then you would expect it to be really cold and frosty down there. Even when the snow melts, you know, on the front side of the mountain and whatnot. So, it's like a lot of kind of back-end stupid work for a very... I mean, you know, most players won't consciously notice it, but it should hopefully just make world building a bit easier. A bit simpler. Where you can just be like, oh yeah, like, I've got this material for trees. Let's just get the snow accumulation texture and then lerp from the tree texture to, you know, the snowy version, instead of needing to, like, make a, you know, a different material entirely and place, you know, the snowy trees up here. Because, like, let's say you've got, like, 100 different tree meshes. It's kind of like, you know, if you wanted to make the snowy version of 100 different trees, you would have to manually be like, make a new material instance, tick snowy, make a new material instance, tick snowy. And it's like, just a pain. It'd be nice just to have one big texture that tells you where the snow is, and just leave it at that. So, that's the idea. It's batshit insane, but, I mean, that's, yeah, there is no but. It's just, it's stupid and insane, and, yeah. I guess another thing that players might notice is that, like, if you're standing here and you see storm clouds approaching, then it will actually start raining under the storm clouds. Like, you'll get warning if it's, like, gonna rain soon. So I think for survival games and stuff, you know, it can be used for both gameplay reasons, but also just for, like, purely aesthetic reasons. The other thing is, because it's on the CPU, if there is... Here's a common thing that people run into if they're doing, like, seasons across their, you know... Like, it goes summer, and then the other seasons, and then it goes back to summer. how do you determine what footstep sounds to play? You know? Like, if usually the ground is grassy or rocky, but then you've made it so that visually it's just covered in snow, how do you know when to change to the snowy version of the footsteps, or play the snowy particles and stuff like that? So, and then even more so, let's say it's summer, but it's still snowy on top of the mountain, and you go up the mountain, and you've just got like an elevation mask. How do you determine where to play the snowy footstep particles and sounds? Or how do you know whether to slow the character down so they're like struggling through the deep snow? So those are the less, you know, batshit insane reasons that I'm putting this together. Just trust. Just trust. Trust, trust, trust. Alright, so. Will this support runtime landscape generation? It should. There's nothing that would prevent it from working with a procedurally generated landscape. I'm not going to generate the landscape, but you can feed in the height data of the generated landscape and also where the water bodies are, or it can just find out itself by doing traces, you know, on begin play. And then, yeah, then it would all work. I'll probably do a thing if people are procedurally generating worlds and stuff. I'll probably write a function that will... It'll get all of the data, so all the height data, all the water data, you know, any like temperature offsets. If you want to just like make a desert, you could just raise the temperature. So it'll gather all that data and then do a simulation for like 1,000 years or something, and then use that as the starting point. Or maybe like a year. Or like, you know, an in-game, just some amount of time. Like a warm-up, simulation warm-up period. But, I mean, it's gonna be kind of funny to like, balance it. Because, like, what happens if, like, just no matter what, everything just becomes a desert eventually? And, like, even, like, you know, what if there's just, like... What if global warming is inevitable? And if you play the game for, like, too long, it just becomes a desert no matter what. So there'll be kind of weird stuff like that that I'll need to figure out eventually. But I just wanted to get the framework of it in place first. Hey, how's the foliage system going on? It's going good. Prismatiscape is doing very well. I'm currently doing a different system at the moment. But yeah, my words will be procedural. Yeah, exactly. And so this should work with that. Hopefully. Hashtag hopefully. Alright, so we figured out all of our annoying stuff. And yeah, we definitely have good data. We've got our masking happening, so we don't have to affect channels that we don't want to affect. So we can share lots of stuff to render targets, or like between render targets. So, how do we want to construct this? I don't really want to do it so that you need to... Oh, no, because I guess if we want it to work in editor, Hmm. Because, yeah, I do want it to be able to be set up in editor so that you can just be, you know, sculpting the world, put a new mountain in, hit simulate, and then it will figure out, oh, what's the implication of this? So I guess we do make a plan. I do have a plan, actually. Although I have it closed. But I guess, do we want to give it a bunch of classes? Like, can you spawn an actor in editor? Can I just be like, you know, function spawn actor from class. I don't know. Post process. The Pris editor post process. Whatever. Don't care. Do that. Spawn transform, just 0, 0. So if I now hit draw debug grid and it does its... Oh, fuck. Well, oh, hold on. That was bad. No. Go back. No. Why did I do that? Do you know how many fucking post-process volumes I just spawned? Okay, we can... I didn't do it on tick, I just spawned 15,000 post-process volumes. Which probably isn't ideal. Let me just delete all of them. But it would seem that, yes, we can spawn actors in editor from an in-editor function. So I think what we will do... Okay, they're all gone now. Thank fuck. Let's just not do that, please. So if I... Let's do that again, but without that, just to double check. So draw debug grid. Yeah, that's our debug grid. That looks about right, right? Are these sRGB? Whereas that is... Anyway, what was I doing? Sim data field manager. So if we want them spawned in editor, then we probably want an array of classes. And then when we, you know, link everything. I guess I could do it on construction. It seems a bit fucky though. Construction happens when you change a variable, right? Data field classes. So this would be data field class reference. This is an array, and it is exposed. You go up the top. And then these are the actual instances of it. Get up there, bitch. Get up there. Yep. Alright. So we have data field classes. Whenever we do that, we'll do a for loop. And then get actor of class. We should never have multiple of the same thing. So get of class this if this is valid, then do nothing. If not valid, spawn actor from class. I can't do that in construction script. Well, fuck you. Make a new function called re-init manager, where we go through. Oh fuck! Just I'll just do re-init manager on construction, and then this function can spawn the dude if there isn't already one in the world. That's the what a dumb workaround. Let's just go spawn transform. Can be left empty. That's just for replication. Oh, I should probably set that to this guy, right? Actually, just self. No, get self. And I guess... No, that's a pawn instigator. Get trans... Or just get location. No, get your location. Get world location. Get transform? Get actor transform. Jesus Christ, they make it hard, don't they? So then spawn actor and then add you to the data fields. Add you there. Bam. Cool. So, if I said World Sim Data Field Manager, and I said data field classes, and I add one called data field, then it just made a new son of a bitch. Why did what? Huh? Oh. Wait. For each of these, get actor of class. No, that's right. If the actor... Ah, right, because it's of that... I'm fucking doubling up. Because I'm stupid. Alright. Let's trash all of that. Okay, if I... Data field class, add one. Right, it adds none if I make an empty. So if this is... Only if the class is valid. If the class is valid, then see if there's one already in the world. If not, do the thing, blah, 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 blah. Die. Alright, so we do this. It doesn't add one here. Then I say make data field. It... Son of a bitch. It then spawns actor of class, and then it should add it to this. By reference, you have spawned. Can I... spawn actor. I'm guessing it isn't valid. Oh my god, what is this thing doing? Just... It's It's none. We set it to data field. Data fields is now none. Is that because it didn't spawn it? Of class valid. Yeah. Then just post a video, then you fluid physics stuff, same for rivers and pools, and it's bonkers. Yeah, I saw on YouTube. Sure, on the YouTube. Yeah, like the actual like fluid sim stuff. The Fluid Ninja Fluid Sim. Which is like Pog. Let's see, I wonder if he's doing, I wonder if he's using my... Let's see. Yeah, it's an RVT, baby! Let's go. Pardon me. Ow. Yeah, he posts a lot on YouTube. It's so dope, though. So epic dope style. So why is this? Oh god, every time I fucking... Okay, maybe I should do it manually. Data field class, this one, set it to data field. Data field array element. It's not fucking spawning. Okay, well... Maybe I do have to do it in a... something not from construction script. So maybe you just get called in editor. And we go data field classes, add data field, re-init manager. Now it works. And then if I keep re-initting, it doesn't care. Cool, that's good, that's good. So, how do we want to link all this together? Let's start with like a static data field called elevation. So we have data field. Data field doesn't necessarily need to register to an RT handler. Because some data fields are just purely CPU. Like, we don't need a temperature render target, you know? Like, we could maybe use the current temperature at our player's position to drive a post-process effect. But we don't actually need that for a thing. So I think we can probably have... How do I want to do this? Well, we need a generic function called... Well, Fuck, send. I don't know how to structure this. I mean, I can just, like, kind of hard code it for now. Also, Blue, hello, hello. I'm not Mags. Sorry. I apologize. If I just make a child data field called PWSDF, this one's called elevation. Bam. We go into here, we add a variable, which is elevation, which is a float value array, and then in here, we override initialize data field array. So this is just gonna get the elevation, set the length. How do we set, I guess, no, it's called resize. Size? It's called resize. Resize to this length. Don't need to call super. So that will just do the thing. We probably need a, like, calculate initial. We probably need a recalculate initial data. In the parent class. So in data field, new function called, I guess, calculate or setup or initialize initial data. Set, calculate initial data. This should be getting done in editor mostly, but I guess if you're doing procedural worlds, it would be whatever. This gets done differently everywhere. So in init data field array, we then call initial data. The fuck did I call it? Calculate initial data, which we would override in this elevation thing. Calculate initial data. How do we calculate the initial data? Well, we need to... Well, we need to know where all our shit is. So data field on... Let's just call init data field. That will do its thing. Let's go get actor of class. The manager. Oh, fuck off. Get actor. The PWSDF manager. Save that as a fella. The manager. That means we always need to call super. How the fuck do I call super? Oh, no, that is here. Call super. Call soup. That would always need to get done first, right? Oh, well... Yeah, because that's just going to set manager. Cool. The other thing I could do is just do that when they get... that might be a bit easier, actually. Just that can fuck off. And then in here, don't call soup. We... blah, blah, blah. Presuming we always have the manager, we can just do... We don't even need to init the array length. Let's just... Oh. Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah. Nah. Get out. Get out. Let's get the array length from here. Resize it, just so it's primed. I think when we spawn the dudes, when we actually do this shit, let's set manager here. Just so we, like, never, you know, accidentally override that part of the function. So whenever they get spawned, they will always have reference to the manager. And then we probably want to initialize them here in editor, if we're doing it in editor. But then how do we do it out of editor? Or do we still initialize them in editor, but then it just recalculates if you're doing a procedural world? I don't know. I don't know. Alright, resize, do the thing. Calculate initial data. Elevation, let's get manager. Let's get the top left corner. I probably need a function to to do this. We also need to do a retreat, like an interpolated retrieval thing. Who's an editor? I'm so confused. Is that something I said? In editor? Gotta do it in editor. In an editor? An editor? So confused. Let's do... Part of the plan to use this to also drive PCG if climate change because of weather shortage plans change. Yeah, I mean, you could use it to do that. But for PCG... I mean, yeah, you could... When you reload that PCG volume... You know, because PCG is deterministic, so, like... If you wanted to have less of something spawned, they would be in the same places, but there'd be less of them. So yeah, you could totally use this for PCG. You just read from... You can either read from the render target or read directly from this system. Yeah. In my case, because it's like a world simulation, the plants and stuff... So, like, with PCG, it's kind of like the plants are just the end result. Like, they're just representing, you know, they're just meshes that are scattered everywhere and whatnot. And if you then, like, removed one of them and then regenerated the PCG volume when you came there next, that plant would be back. So I think PCG for doing like initial placements of everything makes more sense. But if you wanted to like remove and move or plant, you know, trees and stuff, you'd probably need to like manage things manually to some extent. Or you could do like a common thing in like, let's say like Minecraft or something. At least I presume it's how they do it in Minecraft. Is like, instead of storing every single voxel in the entire world, you only store the voxels that have changed from the initial deterministic seed. So if you're running around in like a completely fresh world and nothing has been changed, there's technically no reason for them to store, you know, all of the voxel data on disk. Even if you like save and load, because if you ran the same seed, you would get all of the exact same stuff. So I don't know. It's confusing shit. Let's get our length. Let's do a loop. Let's convert 1D to 2D. X size is our is it? Why have I called it grid resolution? It's grid dimensions. I guess it's the same thing, right? A resolution is a dimension. Well, no, I guess dimension would mean the size, which I also have. Resolution is how many bits are in it. Yeah. Ooh. Did you follow through on your New Year's dimensions? I did. So we have for each point, so if we get this, which is an endpoint to 2D vector, vector 2D. What am I doing? Multiply this by the size, cell size. This is so fucking messy, but I do not care. And then we're going to add that to top left corner. And then plus half the cell size. God, I fucking feel like I've already done this like 100 times. How can I functionalize this? I guess I could do get location. I need to do some transform functions and shit, but it doesn't matter too much. Let's do a line trace by Chanel. Actually, maybe just for objects. Line trace for objects. The start is going to be here. Is that a 2D vector? Let's make and make. Oops. Why? What the fuck? Break make vector? What are you even doing? What the fuck? Make the fucking vector. Why does it choose like the dumbest shit? Make vector favorite. Thank fuck. Alright, split that. X, Y, X, Y. Line trace. Let's start at like fucking 100,000. And then we're going to go down to negative 100,000. Object types. Make. Blah, 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 blah. World static. World dynamic, probably. And that's all. Cool. Out hit. Break. So we're going over all this. I guess calculate initial data. We would want to clear this. What if we don't hit something though? Right, we just add the impact point Z value. Otherwise, add 0. Because there are some points where we... Well... If we do hit something, do this. If we don't hit something, then negative 1 billion. Negative huge damn number. Maximum negativity. Oh, maybe it should just be 0. Maybe we just... I should probably do it so it uses the value depending on whereabouts it didn't hit a landscape or something. It should probably use the inner, you know, the closest valid elevation or something. I don't know. Let's actually draw these as well. Draw time 5 seconds. Bam, 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 bam. That'll get cleared. We also don't need to resize it if we're doing that. We're clearing it anyway. So, let's go... Data field manager. If I re-init manager, we spawn them with an initialize data field, which for the elevation tells us to calculate initial data, which does its thing. Oh, this is bad. Also, length is not last index. This is terrible. Not invalid location. Exactly, exactly. So let's make an elevation class. Reinitialize manager. We now have the elevation class. And I can select it. But yeah, this... Well, data field... What's data field 0? Who the fuck are you? Elevation. Elevation. Cool. So now that that actor exists, when we call a net data field, we probably want to, if it's already valid, call initialize on it. And we'll set the manager as well. So we'll just let it go from that point. We don't have to spawn it again if it is already valid. This is so gross. Although the references, yeah, fuck it. We'll just copy paste it. Yeah. Hello. How are you? You're funny. What a fun cat. Hmm? There you go. You gonna sit with me? Hmm? Hmm? Cat name. That one is Girl Cat. Girl Cat. Oh. Hello, do we have melting snow? I want to see mountain streams flooding villages in valley. Not yet. Eventually. Eventually. Soon TM. I still have to set up the entire damn thing. But it's getting there. We've overcome some hurdles. Girl Cat, no, I need that hand to do the mouse. Silly duffer. Froundere. What do you think about C++ in Unreal? Is it worth investing time in? I think it is great. I think it is great. However, no, I don't think there's a however. Should that be? Where's our? Well, there's debug grid. How should we be doing it? Stuff. Where is our elevation dude? And we're saying do this shit and blah 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 blah. Calculate initial data. When initialize, calculate initial data. Do all the stuff. Top left corner, add the thing. Yeah. Top left corner's up here. Yeah. Let me actually just look at this value. Expose. Now let's just go here, reinitialize. Let's go to the elevation dude. and it is at 0. So why are you not... Can I not call a function... Data field, calculate initial data, get the manager, grid array. Oh, I'm dumb as fuck. I'm stupid. Ah, there we go. There's all our... What are they even touching? Huh? Oh, the collision box. I should have known. Bounds. Collision. No. No collision. Thank you, thank you. Generate overlap events? No. Get out of here, you fooligan. Alright, reinitialize manager. Now we're getting hit results. And storing that data in elevation. An array that is 14,000 entries long. There it is. Look at all those zeros. Oh, and then there's values. Holy shit. And then, oh, look at all those zeros. And then a bunch of values. Very cool. Now, if we... Data field, SimRTs. How do I want to link these together? Feel like we will continue tomorrow. We will continue tomorrow, likely. But it's only 4 AM. I've got another 2 or 3 hours left in me. I only started at what, like 9 or 10? 9 or 10 o'clock? It's weak sauce. Sim targets, debug, fella, data handler. Data handler. So if we go here, resize render target, cool, cool, cool. So that's on initialize handler. So let's make a child class of this. Blueprint class, grid handler. Where are you? Data handler actor. So this is called the PWSDF. Elevation drawer. Let's just call it the debug. Debug draw man. So debug draw man, let's chuck him in the world. And let's get rid of this guy, data handler. So debug draw man. You're going to have the debug fella. This one. And the cache is debug cache man. Oh, no, debug cache. There it is. We need to initialize you. So now we have 4 channels to play with. The thing is, we need to... Well, I guess our elevation thing... calculate initial data. So, like, when we send the data into here, like initialize handler, we can just, you know, tell it to refresh and do a thing. I don't think we can do that in editor for whatever reason, though. Because we're doing this and then, you know, at some point, debug noise RT, you know, set it to be red. And so, you know, if I do that, it's like, oh, yep. You know, it's now all red with some yellow, whatever. So now let's set it to be black. But debug noise RT. We want this to happen in editor. We want to be able to call this in editor and for it to be updated. Debug noise RT, nothing happens. And that is because we're not ticking, right? If we call send data to Niagara manually here, then maybe it will work. It does. Okay, that's good. That's good. On that gremlin schedule? Hell yeah. Did you have tinkering with scriptable tools? Not yet. Not yet. I do want to do that for, probably a few things, actually. I might do scriptable tools for, even in this system, like drawing manual offsets. So that, you know, this place is always colder and this place is always hotter. Okay, so this does work, which is fantastic. We can manually send data to Niagara, which means we just have to call that after we do this. Which we can call these functions from somewhere else, obviously. So if we go to our elevation and we say new function, actually this should be a parent function called. Does it need to... So not all simulation layers need to draw to a render target. Although to be fair, we'd probably want to be able to debug them all using a render target anyway. So for something like temperature, where we never actually need the, we never need the value for, like, shaders and stuff. Again, unless we wanted, like, I don't know, some flowers that only ever opened up when it's hot or when it's cold or something. So maybe we do just have a function called send... Send to RT. Send to data RT. No, I guess we just want to do that when it gets updated. Let's say send all to data RT. Calculate initial data, blah, blah, blah. Send all data to render target. Override in here. Oh. Override, send all. Let's just do a cheeky old get actor of class for now. Just as a proof of concept. Elevation, if valid, is valid, update, values, no, update, what's it called? No, that's itself. I want the fucking, the debug draw, man. Wow. Update values at coords, if valid. The coords are Fuck, I have to generate all the coords. Fuck my life. I can do dumb shit like this. I just need a macro to do this. Or maybe probably a function. What are they called? Function library function. No, wrong. Go back. I meant in elevation. Calculate initial data. Send all to data RT. I mean, that's literally just going to be doing that loop again. But this function does need to just be... You know what? I guess when we're initializing it, we'd want to do that anyway. Like, literally just, yeah, on initialize. No, wrong guy. In here, when we calculate initial data, we should just be making an array anyway. Yeah. Or, alternatively, should it be the job of the... No. Maybe the render target data handler should be pulling data from the layers. And it just gets told, hey, like, refresh this coordinate or these coordinates, and then it pulls the data. That way we wouldn't even need to send the masks through. Put in the blue channel, why not? BU, and then also get muck. Muck. Add just the blue channel. Yeah, I guess it depends, like, if some things are going to be updated without other things being updated. This also needs to just get actor of class. The data man. What did I call it? Debug draw man. Let's just yeet you there. So when I do initialize handler debug noise RT, this should in theory have drawn is this whole thing in the negatives? Initialize data field. Elevation on initialize. Calculate initial data. And send it all to the dude. Oh, and then I need to, what's the other one? Send to Niagara. Right, reinitialize, do the thing, and then send all those values to... Oh, hello? What the fuck is that? Excuse me? Has that maybe wrapped around because it's a 16-bit texture? That should be able to go higher than 50,000, negative 50,000, right? Array length, last index, convert, add them to the coords. Do the traces. Oh, right, I didn't do it if they don't hit. If they don't hit, we still need to add dumb values. Like 0 and 1. So it was going out of order. Pretty much. There we go. Alright, so... now we are drawing the elevation to a render target. Cool. Is that useful? Not really, but... proof of concept. We're sending data in editor to where shit is. So, I mean, if I got this and I said, fuck, how would I'd have to give it an offset of, what, 50,000, and then divide it by 200,000, maybe? I don't know how big this landscape is. So we've essentially just created a RVT height map, but with extra steps. I mean, look, we've cached the elevation. That's the important part, so that our simulation can access it and do dumb shit with it. Let's just do a new... hello, Miguel. New actor, ocean, test with a plane. Is a plane just, yeah, cool. You are the scenery now. Do you want to go outside, girl? I need to give you your tablet. Silly bugger. You know what? Basic shape material. What's your collision set to? You are blocking all dynamic. Very good. Yeah, we could do... Oh god, how big's that gotta fucking be? Scale... Really big. Okay, maybe not that big. Oh, well. Maybe that big. Doesn't really... Oh, fuck you. Just, get bigger. Would you use these in layups to make the landscape material dynamically? Yes, that's exactly what this will be used for. So we can have, you know, snow actually fall and then accumulate and then melt, but like completely locally to different areas. And when snow melts, it could create, you know, the water would run off. Or, you know, lakes could freeze over. If, you know, the right conditions are met. Warda. Let's just do another stupid thing and just be like hit actor cast to water. What did I call it? Ocean test. And if true, well, I should do this first. Don't care about that shit, whatever. The masks will be, let's just put in the green channel, because water is green, as we all know. The value is going to be just... did this succeed? So if false, it's 0. Make it set to 0. Okay, you're being a little menace. If it... Well, I guess if it fails, we just do that as well. If it is, though, then this is 1. Sorry. This is 1. So, for example, this might be a layer where... Is that still going to the debug drawer? Yeah. So this might be a layer where, you know, if the temperature is, or the sun is out, we get evaporation, or just in general, we get evaporation from, like, permanent water bodies, like the ocean and large lakes. So let's go data field class, add a new one called water. And then reinitialize. That will do all of its shit. And then... that might have just done it. Yeah, it has. So now... We've just tested, you know, every 50 meters, is there water here? Obviously with this kind of stuff, what I'd ideally want to do is... You know, within each tile, do multiple line traces and get the average, but I just can't be fucked. But yeah, if we now go to the material, we get the G channel and just lerp between this value and, you know, watercolor. Bam. Maybe that multiplied by this. Why not? Oh, you know what? We could just do this. Oh, it's grass colored. Wow, it's crazy. And then multiply you by that height map. Just do whatever. That's getting really dark, though. How do I make it less dark? Subtract more? So yeah, now we can just tell where... where water is for the sake of weather shit. You know? Obviously, you wouldn't want to... You know, this is just asking where is there water. It's not going to determine where large water bodies are. But, yeah. It could be used to drive, like, procedural water. Let's say there's, like, a divot, and it's, like, flooding. You could add extra water things at runtime. Or, yeah, drive the river fullness or something. Yeah. So I'll need to refine this a little bit, but proof of concept is there. We can scan this, get a height map, get a water mask. And then we could use that to start doing simulation shit. But I just need to figure out whether we need to do the masks. If we didn't, if the data handler was pulling data from simulation layers, then we wouldn't need to deal with the masking. We could just link the thing, and then, yeah, we could just be like, okay, yeah, this simulation layer, or this data handler that handles the render target, it would pull the data and just turn it into a vector 4, and then send that in every time. Because again, I need to figure out whether we update everything in one tile all at once. So we go to this tile, we have all the cached values of every simulation layer. And then we say, okay, update the temperature, wind, precipitation, all the fucking simulation shit. Then move on to the next tile, and then just do that over and over and over. Or if we do, okay, let's go through and update all of the wind things. Because I feel like if we just said, you know, let's update this tile, then we just say, okay, to any render target data manager, pull all the new values at the end of that update cycle. And then it would compile them into the vector 4s, chuck them in the render targets if needed. I feel like that would be more efficient. Yo, Adam, how's it going? Adam Ant. Adam Ant CG. Adam the Ant. Imagine if this had a sweet ocean shader. Does this have a material? Wait, where the fuck is the... No, it's Adam Ant. Not Adam Ant. It's Adam Ant. Oh, that's not a mesh. That's a freaking just a plain collision, right? Plane. No, it is a... what? Change my logo to an and now. Sure. Why is this doing that? What did this need to function? Oh, the ocean manager, probably. Wait, what does this need to function? Oh, it's, no, that should work. Is it just that it's too far away to function? Let me go to the ocean manager. And set. Apply instance changes to blueprint. Now you're fine. Where the fuck am I? World sim data fields. Yeah, why does the shader not work in this other map? Never knew about apply instant changes to blueprint. Yeah, it's super, super handy. Persistent climate RTs, one-time or infrequent heavy computation is acceptable. Weather RT, moderate computation frequency, simple fluid dynamics. Interaction RT, high frequency but localized updates only around players. Yeah, potentially. There's a whole other element to this thing. Which is should be working. What the hell? Yeah, like at the kind of micro level. Let's say there's like snow accumulation. And that's like a 1 per tile. You know, 1 value per tile. So when we've got, you know, our grid, you know, the snow coverage is like maybe 2 feet here. But then if we light a fire, and that fire melts a bunch of snow, we want to apply like an offset value or some kind of modifier, but at like the 1 by 1 meter cell value. But obviously it would be way too overkill to have you know, if these are like 100 or 50 by 50 meters, to have another 50 by 50 array of values and whatnot. So my idea is that we have a map of coordinates to, you know, these like altered values that aren't the same as, you know, the bigger thing. So it would be like sparse data where, you know, only these 9 tiles are actually recorded as like changed data. And that could be persistent, you know, and whatnot. Could probably do the same thing with like trails. You know, if like lots of animals are walking in certain places, we could erode the soil so that it becomes compacted dirt and whatnot on like a 1 by 1 meter scale. Wouldn't that find interaction RT overwrite that weather RT in that? Yeah, exactly. Or the and yeah, so that would be we'd have like all the tiles, all the different tiles, and when we move, I don't know, some certain distance, away, we then rebase the kind of fine details, the overwrite details, and create a new render target for that. As I detect where there's water and where is grass, I think I missed it. Just with line traces for the initial data. I want to find out why this is going super weird. It's not even that far from world origin, so... Oh, not that one. I want the oceans. Why is it so confused? Oh, you know what it is? It's because of the vertex interpolator. That's funny as fuck. Hold on. Oh, God. Such a spaz. It's because we're doing all this at vertex stage, and that's a 4 vertex plane. So dumb. That's actually really funny. Tried to with the hit result using hit component face index for getting the material from a collision face index. It could do that, yeah. Okay, why is it doing this now? So, there must be one I missed. Foam mask, blah, 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 blah. Vertex interpolator. Foam mask. Coming out of final direction. You go down to here. Why is this getting so dicky? There's only 2 of them. can't be because of this, because this is usually just, well, nothing, except where there's something. Why? Bruh. It's just the foam stuff that's going weird. Why is it doing that? It must be... Oh, Fuggles. You know what it is? It's that the the default value for specular and roughness is 0.5. Yeah. So it thought everywhere was a shoreline. Yeah, that's right, that's right. It's funny when it can't handle the WPO. This is this is what those big waves look like without world position offset. Or without enough world position offset. Usually they like, you know... That's funny. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of this shit. What was I even doing? Who am I? What am I even... Why? Let me plug these back in. Anyway, I think I will wrap it up. We are going to be raiding somebody. I don't know who, though. Who would you guys like to raid? I could raid Crimson. Did I raid Crim last time? Can't remember. So with the runtime visual textures, using vertex and template makes it super cheaper. Yeah. If you can... I mean, pretty much with any shader effect, if you can use vertex interpolator, and it still achieves the same result, or a result within, you know, spec, then use vertex interpolator, pretty much. Because it pretty much means like, okay, instead of sampling this texture per pixel on the screen, we're going to sample this texture per vertex. And then just, it will, you know. Yeah. Yeah. There's an overlay on top of your camera. There's a line in the top 10th or so that is brighter. Do you mean just in this scene? Oh, I see, I see. Hold on. That would be... Not that. Not that. Oh yeah, wait, no, I can see here that the overlay doesn't extend all the way up. My little, what's that? That's the... Yeah, it's this, it's this, it's this. There's a slight gradient. Or a slight glow around it. Yeah, you're 100% correct. It's fixed, it's fixed. You got a good eye. I wonder how long it's been like that. It's probably been like that since I played a game and it needed full screen to see the bottom bit. Well, then on my RVT sample for the base color, specular roughness, etc. All user vertex and overlay instruction went down for all of them way better. Change like 1% difference. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, especially if you're using a higher poly count mesh, then you don't really notice a difference. Sometimes it can just be for, purely just for, like, visuals, you know? Like, having it be, like, for example, if you've got grass, you can sample at the pivot point of each grass blade. And if you're doing that, where, like, the color is going to be solid throughout the whole grass blade, you may as well just vertex interpolate it. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think we'll continue with this system. I'll think I'm experiment with the drawers pulling data from the simulation fields. Just because it'll be easier. And then... Oh, what happened to my music? Hello? What? Hello? All my... Can you guys still hear me? I'm not getting, like... I think my interface... actually, maybe I'll open this up. You can hear me? Okay, well, I can't hear anything from my computer. Yeah. Something... We'll work on this again. I have faith. I think it's a banger. Even if it's just, like... For, you know, some... I feel like it's useful even if it isn't fully simulated horse shit, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sorry, I did turn the music off because I couldn't hear it, but... Let's see. Who is streaming? Software and game development. Any Unreal Engines in here? Da 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 da. Yeah. I can raid Crim, but I raided Crim last time, and I feel like I should share the love. Don't know. I think Unreal Engine's dead. Unreal must be dead. Unreal Engine confirmed dying. Let's see. French, English, Avnuts, chatting, and GameDev UE5. Participer à la création de mon Wannerge un survivors like. Nice. All right, let's raid. Avnuts, AV nuts. What a good name. All righty. Nailed. Sorry, I need to stop being racist. All right, we're going to be rating AV nuts or Avnuts. If you are a YouTube watcher, I'm just ending the stream. You guys don't get to watch anyone else, but if you want, you can come and join us on Twitch for next time. Chuck us a follow, get notifications on Twitch. I would like to become a Twitch partner at some point, just for that extra bit of. So if you watch on YouTube and you want to support a bit further, watching on Twitch does help. Even if you just watch on YouTube, but just have Twitch like just running in the background, with the sound on 1%, and then you can minimize it. As long as the sound's on 1%, it still counts as a view. And then you can just, have it minimized. But, yeah. We're cheating the system. We want those Bezos bucks. A little chicken. Right. All right. We start the raid. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good night. Day, night.